Monday evening, folks. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. All right, this is video upload number 2 because it's only about 8:20, and so I'm going to squeeze in a second one for you here. All right, now, if you are new to this channel, we like to sit around and we listen to Dave Ramsey debt telephone calls, and I make commentary, of course, on them. And some of the calls go back from just a few hours ago, which is the video I just uploaded a few minutes ago. It's probably literally cycling its upload as I'm speaking. And they may go back a few years to several years. So we're going to go back 4 years, okay, on the Dave Ramsey Show. And this is, should I make my illegal boyfriend pay child support? Now, regardless of your political position or anything else, we do know the issues going on at the border and what's traveling in different states and all that, okay? But should you consider falling in love with someone who may be legally considered illegal here in United States territory, all right? This call might apply to you. Should I make my illegal boyfriend pay child support? I have to be honest, I don't know much about the ins and outs of the illegal part of the immigration system. I am adopted from Vietnam. All right, came over and I was 4.5 years old. The legal route, so I may even learn something here as far as the illegal boyfriend. So if he's an illegal boyfriend, this tells me he did not come into the country clearly illegally. She decided to go ahead and have a child with him. All right, and looks like he's not paying up. Oh, geez. All right, let's hit it, folks. And I'd like to thank you for being here with me this evening. And of course, as you know, if you are a returning visitor, you are family. So please kick back, grab yourself some tea. Let's hit it. I'm so glad you're here with me.
Amy is with us in Michigan. Hi, Amy.
Hello,
Welcome to the
Amy.
Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. It's an honor to speak with you. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I know that I'm a single mom with 3 children, and I know I have the right to file for child support.
People, we already need the fan out. The tea is already hot. Single mom, 3 kids. Okay. Do we think they're all from the same father? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go.
On my ex-boyfriend. But I just want to know if it is the more...
No, he's an ex-boyfriend. I would have guessed any day she knew how to pick him right.
moral thing to do or the godly thing to do in this situation. I've never filed for child support.
Okay, stop. She's going too fast for me, especially on a Monday night, 8:30. She's questioning if it's the moral thing or the godly thing to do to go after her illegal boyfriend for child support, but she didn't question if it was the morally or the godly thing to do to have a kid with somebody who was not considered a legal citizen of the United States or was not here legally. And because he was not here legally, probably couldn't afford to pay for the kid anyways. After all, he is illegally here. I'm not referring to party, Democrat, Republican. I'm not referring to that. I'm just keeping it to the, you're either here legally or you're here not. That's where I'm beginning and ending. Okay. That's my alpha and omega here. Okay. So, but she doesn't question the moral stance of that. She only questions it after the baby event has occurred. Smart lady, not.
I've had children with him for 5.5 years, and he has never paid except for maybe like 6 payments just in cash, just random payments. But
she can't be this dumb. She can't be this dumb. Maybe she can. You know that story I did on the people who bought the RV? They bought a $42,000 RV, then they bought a $58,000 truck to pull the RV. And they lost their apartment in the process because then they didn't have the money to pay for the apartment. I guess people can be this dumb. I mean, I think of the dumb things I've done. Oh, please tell me I didn't sink this low, even though I know I made my mistake, sweet Jesus.
He's never, other than about 6 payments of a couple $100s, he's never paid me anything for the children.
And so she chose to have multiple children with him. Remember what I said, people. Of course, you can watch this from the description box uninterrupted, which would kill the whole purpose of watching a commentary channel, but I understand and respect you if you choose to. Remember when I've said to you guys, and I've said it over and over on this channel, two things. One, is there a point where we have to take personal responsibility? Where we can't say that we didn't know. 5 years with this dude, you knew he was illegal. You kept popping kid after kid after kid. I gather these 3 kids are all from her. At some point, she is the stupid one. She was probably the stupid one from the beginning if she knew he was illegal, and I'm sure she did. But I'll even give gratis to the first kid. But then you keep popping out kids with him. So at some point, we must embrace. We must embrace that we are responsible for continuing our misery. Right? And then the other thing you've heard me say on this channel over and over is who causes our financial misery? How many stories have we heard that I battled cancer and I went broke and that's why I'm calling Dave Ramsey? No, that's not what we hear. What we hear is, oh, I made these continuously bad decisions financially and now I'm calling Dave Ramsey. These are the calls that we get. Dave Ramsey gives me comfort on one thing. I am less concerned about medical bills in my old age than I am about making stupid financial decisions. So at some point, she has to hold responsibility. And I would say after the first kid. Technically, I could really say before the first kid. She knew he was illegal. But let's just assume we didn't know. We'll just pretend. The first kid, I'll forgive. You pull out, you pop out a few more. Nah.
And I'm hesitant in filing support on him because, number one, he's an undocumented immigrant. So I'm afraid he will get in trouble or he will get found out and get in trouble with ICE for working under a false identity.
This woman is a witch. This woman is, I don't know whether she's stupid, and I don't say that lightly, but here I can say it very confidently. She's a witch. She's evil. Why? Because she knows darn well the situation she put herself and her children into. She knows who she procreated with. I think these are all his kids. She knows. I'm going to give her credit, though, at least from what I can tell, it's all from one man. Okay? She darn well knows who she procreated with. And now she wants to use that against him to try to get him to pay. Well, it's going to be tough getting him to pay if he winds up being shipped back, right?
I'm not sure that he still does, but I know he has a job. And so he may still be working under a false name.
And she will use that against him. Men, be careful of women like this. These women are evil. They will use the information they know about you against you. This would be more of a vindictive move than it would be a move because she really cares about, the welfare of the children. She gave a crap about the welfare of the kids. She wouldn't pick this dude to have 3 kids with. There are plenty of messed up American citizen men and men who are legally here in the country that she could have this sordid life with.
And then the other reason I'm scared about filing for support on him is just the fact that I kind of told him to get out of my children's and my life because he's highly emotionally abusive. And so I kind of feel like how this is just not right for me to file for support if I basically told him to exit our lives.
She's stupid. All right, I'm going to say something that might be triggering, and that's okay. It's good to have a little trigger on this channel. You don't have to agree with me all the time. Matter of fact, if you agree with me all the time, there's probably something wrong. When a woman wants to claim that a man is abusive only after she's had 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids with him, then she wants to scream that he was abusive, you're going to have to show me some serious ass evidence to get me to believe that. Because I believe that a woman has a duty to make logical decisions on who she's going to procreate with. Once a man has shown you that he is abusive, you don't keep procreating. I understand what all the documentation say about, abuse, yada, yada. Okay, I'm 56. Trust me, I've heard it. The problem I have is when a woman wants to throw out the he's abusive card, but he wasn't so abusive that you couldn't procreate with him once, twice, three times. He wasn't so abusive that you looked at him and said, that's the man I want to procreate with, not once, twice, but three times. He wasn't so abusive that when things were going great, you didn't have a need to call ICE. You weren't going to use the fact that he has an alias against him or he's got a job or whatnot. But now that you're having to look back on the god-awful crappy decisions you made, all morality aside, because I don't judge people's morality there. It's not my place to judge, okay? But now you want to claim he's abusive.
And the third thing, the reason that I'm hesitant in asking for support from him is that when I wanted to have a sibling for our daughter, we were, I told him, will you please help me to have a sibling for our daughter?
Will you please help me, you abusive man? You abusive man that mistreats me. Would you please help me have a sibling for our daughter, because you are so abusive and you're so effed up that I may call ICE on you and I may report you because you are so abusive, but please give me another daughter. This lady, if I were on a jury, this is one of those cases, put my ass on the jury. Put me on the jury. I will lie to get on the jury. Put me on the jury because no, I did not say I would lie to get on jury. I would like to take that statement back for all legal purposes. This is the type of jury that I would love to sit in on because it's women like this that trash good men. It is women like this that will take a good guy and do everything she can in the heart of her being woman and her femininity, and will do everything she can to destroy an otherwise good man, to destroy his career, to destroy his reputation. And she wants to destroy it because it's not going the way she wanted, even though she was a major game player in the entire thing. You could never convince me on a jury that this man was so abusive when you asked to have him give you another daughter. That if I was even leaning towards, okay, maybe he's abusive, and as soon as I heard that, I'd be like, get out of here.
And he's like, well, sure, but I can't pay for that, right? And because I can't even pay for our daughter, so I'm not going to pay anything, and so I'll help you as long as you're cool with me not paying anything. And I was like, oh, absolutely, that's totally fine.
But this man is so abusive. Yes. But what happened was she was in this for herself. And the real story behind all this is she took advantage of the fact that he was an illegal immigrant. That's what she did. She took advantage of it. She knew exactly what she was getting into.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Well, that was back when my income was really good. But
so he wasn't abusive when her income was good. But now do you see, people, where all this starts to go? Her life isn't going the way it thought. Now she wants him to pay up. And all those promises she gave the illegal immigrant boyfriend, she's going to dismiss all that now and she's going to change to abuse. Ladies, if you ever get to sit on a jury on something like this, this is why you got to listen to the whole story. It's why we have to listen to the whole freaking story, because you start to put the pieces together, you're like, oh, no. I don't buy he was abusive at all, but I do buy that he was truly that she was a manipulator, and she's still manipulating. That's what I'm buying. This, people, and if you're not, if you are familiar with my channel, I tend to defend men very much so. Okay? Not saying I don't defend women, and I do defend women, all right? But I defend men in areas that I think women tend to jump at and automatically assume guilt. Automatically assume that a guy is not competent. Automatically assume that, well, because it's a guy, that they can't possibly be telling the truth. No. And for those who may not be familiar with this channel, I am 56 years old. My father should have gotten custody of all 4 of us girls. All 4 of us girls my father should have had full custody of all 4 of his girls. And because that has never left me, it permanently changed and shapes the way I view men. Now, does this mean I think all men are good men? No, it does not. Absolutely not. But what it does mean in areas where people are quick to judge and say, oh, this guy's horrible. Okay, we really need to know the whole story. And if you listen to this woman's story, it's all shaped to what benefits her. It's not shaped to tell the truth. I told you, if I hadn't been a teacher, I would have gone into law and I would have defended men. Absolutely no doubt.
But I'm a little broke now and basically having to take out loans to get groceries and things like that.
And hence, that is where now she's going to concoct the story that he's abusive.
And so I'm just like, what do I do? But I don't want to do the wrong thing just because I can't get groceries either.
Oh, no, she's already doing the wrong thing. She's now manipulating it. She's concocting a story. I hope Dave Ramsey does not buy. Dave, I'm going to look straight into the camera. I will be very disappointed in you, especially because you're a man. If you believe her story of this illegal boyfriend is abusive. Because here's what's interesting. She hasn't said a darned thing of what he's done that is abusive other than her acceptance that he doesn't have to worry about paying child support and all of that because she wanted multiple kids, yada, yada.
So I just need your advice.
Well, there's so much going on here.
Rarely do we see Dave at a loss for words.
Number one, stop having children with people who don't support them.
Like people who can't support them. Illegal immigrants, probably not the best people to have children with.
And that you're not married to. And that you're not married to. Okay? You shouldn't have asked my advice if you didn't want it, but you need to stop doing that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got yourself
open to everyone, day and night.
Into a mess, obviously.
Right.
And this is a bad dude.
Oh, don't go there, Dave.
Okay? He's here illegally. Mm-hmm. He's an abusive dude.
What has she said that's made him abusive? Anybody heard any evidence? Does he beat the children? Have we heard that? Does he stalk them? Have we heard that? Does he make harassing phone calls to her? What I've heard is she chose to procreate with someone that she darn well knew did not have the legal means, the financial means to take care of the children she chose to procreate with. That in and of itself, that decision was her decision. In fact, if you really want to say who has the power in this relationship, she does. She does. She's the citizen. She took advantage of him. You want to see who I think the actual abuser is? Yeah.
And you told him to stay away. And
that telling him to stay away is a great way to concoct a story to tell the police later on. Well, I told him to stay away from me. I told him the children and I are not safe. When did you tell him to stay away? Certainly not the time when you were in bed together, right? He didn't need to stay away then. It wasn't scary then. I'm pretty smart. I'm not saying these things don't happen after people have kids and, some abuse appears or something. But in this particular case, the whole dynamic, the power is with her. She took advantage of someone who was less powerful. And now she wants to scream abuse. And I'm not saying this lightly, folks. If she really had, told a compelling story of abuse, I'd go, okay, sound like he no good.
I don't even want to know the details. You told him you wanted to have another kid, but you'd pay for it, right?
Right.
And she wants to question morality. You know, for a woman who sits and says, I would like to question morality and if I am doing everything just right, she sure as hell doesn't seem to have a problem sleeping around, unmarried, with people who aren't citizens. So, and the only reason I say that is when you're with someone who's illegal, it's kind of hard to get the law to back you up. They may ship him back out. As far as Venezuela. Right? She's messed up in the head as far as her ability to question what's moral, what's not. But the one thing she doesn't seem to question is her own character.
Okay. So it sounds like it's more hassle than it's worth. It sounds like certainly for one of them, you told him not, you wouldn't charge him, right?
And that isn't a, what is it? What she said? She said she wanted to know this was the spiritually and morally correct thing to do. And she's basically just buying a kid, paying for some seed, basically, because she wanted another child so badly. And this was all fine, and he was all fine until she stopped making the money that she once had. And then all of a sudden, everything became not so fine. Then he became abusive.
Right.
I mean, you have a deal on that. You'd have to keep your word on that. I guess keeping your word comes into this discussion.
Hard to keep a word on a woman who will procreate multiple times without thinking two shitty thoughts about who she's doing it with.
But I mean, here's the thing: what we need to be concerned about is what is best for the children, and what's best for the children is for you to get a career that's going, and him to not be around, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
She didn't ever genuinely care about what's best for the children. She didn't. She never cared about what was best for the children. She thought about what was best for her. She wanted to have kids. I actually believe that she probably did. But I also believe she sees them to some extent as toys, bargaining chips. If you're a guy, this is the type of woman you want to stay far, far away from. You're much better off dating someone who's had 2 bankruptcies and used to be a shopping addict. But much better person. And I mean that. This is a very manipulative woman. This is the woman that will get on a freaking jury stand and lie. She will lie, lie, lie. She will bring on the tears. This is the type of woman that would do this. She has the upper hand because she is the citizen. This is the type of woman. It would serve her right to not get a dime. And I don't think she probably will be able to. I just feel bad for the kids, though. This is the type of woman who doesn't deserve to be a parent.
So I think it's just the fact that things are tight is the only reason you're considering this. And it.
Thank you. Snaps for me. But the part that he's forgetting is it's also why she's now calling him abusive.
It's making you try to look past some of all these other negatives that you did list out very thoroughly.
No, I disagree. She did not list out the negatives thoroughly. Where did I hear once that he smacked her? Where did I hear once that he just as made their life a living hell so horrible that she had to have another kid with him? See, my sympathy drops drastically when you choose to procreate with someone that you already supposedly know and you say is abusive, and yet you choose to keep doing it. Short of it being rape, which is a whole different ball game. We ain't going to go there. Short of it being that, now it's a crime. Prosecutable, yada, yada. But short of you being able to mouth those words, these are choices that you make, and you have to now live with those choices.
So you got a pretty long list of negatives down the list on reasons to not do this.
And I've given you, hopefully, my family audience, a whole list as to why men need to never hook up with a woman like this. This is a woman who will lie. She'll say to you to your face what you want, but really she's conniving. She's manipulative. She's a snake in the grass.
99% of the time, someone calls up with this. Actually, when I saw on the screen, file for child support question, Mark, that's not what's on my screen waiting on, you to come up. I immediately go, well, of course, the guy had kids, he ought to pay for the kids. It's kind of like basic ethics, basic morality.
Right.
You ought to take care of your own dadgum children. But this is not a guy who takes care of anybody.
But she chose him. I will agree. He's not going to take care of anybody, but he's an illegal immigrant. And it sounds like he's made that pretty clear to her. And it sounds like she said, okay, no problem. Procreate. Procreate again. He's not doing anything manipulative. If I tell you something, if I say to you, look, I'm broke. I can give you the seed, but I can't pay for it. And you look at me and you say, oh, no, don't worry about it. That's fine. That doesn't make me an awful person. In fact, I was honest and I told you I'm illegal. I told you I can't pay for it. I'll try to pay a dime or two when I can, but I really can't pay for anything. And then because I follow through on that, it doesn't make me a schmuck.
Right, exactly.
Oh yes, she is the victim here.
He's a taker, not a giver.
And what the hell is she?
And so, and you've got to commit in your life, for the sake of your current 3 children, to not let this pattern continue in your life, right?
Oh, it's been 4 years. She's popped out another kid.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. So, you do that, and you work on your career and your character, and you grow, and you take care of these kids.
Okay, I'm going to call it done here because I do need to start getting ready for bed. I do have a filming limit. Did you hear him say? Did you hear him say, family, work on your character? Who said that word? Who said that word first? Who said the word character first? Well, I believe I did. And with that, I'm going to end it with snaps for me. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I would like to thank you guys for spending your Monday evening with me. I will link the first video I did earlier today. I will link it here at the end of this video. Well, you could have watched another YouTube channel. Well, you could have been somewhere else. You chose to stick around. And if you made it this far into the video, I thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a beautiful Monday night. Goodbye.